Hey guys, it's Sandy with Urban Rebel Designs in Aztec, New Mexico. Just wanted to get on here with you guys for a little while and show you what I'm up to. So tonight I'm going to be working on these little, I'll turn it right side up. These are just little occasional shelves that you can find at most home decor stores. A lot of times you can find them at yard sales or thrift stores. But I'm going to do something different with them because I am going to be using them as super giant bookends. Hi Natalia, thanks for joining us. So I already started on this one and I have the mate to it down here. And you'll notice a difference in the colors of the carvings. That's because I have started the patina on this one and I've completed it on this one. But I figure pretty much everybody knows how to use the patinas by now. We all love it, and rust is my favorite. So all I did was a coat of the iron patina paint, let it dry completely, and then another coat. And while the iron patina paint is wet, I spray it, and I thought I had it here. I spray it with the green spray. Now you can use the blue spray with the iron patina paint, but it's not gonna rust for you very well. So with the iron, I always use the green spray. But tonight I wanted to play with something a little bit different. You all know by now that, hi Dixie Belle, that I have a friend who's going to be visiting me in about a month, and it's Pam Haskins, and I'm so excited. She's doing a Creative Finishes boot camp here in New Mexico, so we can't wait for her to join us. So I'm doing some things to kind of spruce up my house before she gets here. I really want to impress her. So tonight we're going to be working with Dixie Dirt, and I have picked Earth because it kind of goes along with the rest, but we're going to be applying it in a little different way. We're going to use a little squeeze bottle. But first I've got to get some paint on this, and I want it to look really old and kind of chippy and sort of mossy. I just want to go for a really old sort of relic look. So we're going to start, and I've got a whole bunch of different colors of paint down here. So we're just going to grab one and see where this leads us. So I think I'm going to start with Buttercream. Buttercream is a really nice, and this light's kind of bad, but it's a nice creamy color, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to start on that, and what we're going to do is we're just going to be blending some different colors. We may do a little bit of dry brushing, and then we're going to add some wax and some dirt. I just got paint all over me. So tonight for this, I'm using my small oval Dixie Belle synthetic brush, and I always dampen my brush before I start. And I also have a little piece of cardboard down here on the floor that I will be offloading some of the paint onto. So if you hear that and it looks like I'm dabbing on the floor, I'm not. I've really got a piece of cardboard down here. And I'm not going to be really careful with this except around where I have already patinaed. And I could have taped it off, but I chose not to. I like to live dangerously, hence the rebel. And I know it's backwards. I apologize. That's the way it comes up in Facebook. And I have not quite figured out how to change that. I know there's a way, but sometimes I can find it and sometimes I can't. So bear with me. And all I'm doing is I'm just putting this on randomly. Oh, I wanted to show you the sides of this also. It's going to be hard to do with wet paint. But this has a little bit of the carving on the sides too that I patinaed. And actually, I think I'm going to move you a little bit closer so you can see a little more of the detail. So I hope I don't make you seasick. Forgive me just a second. There. I know sometimes the comments can get in the way. You can swipe to the side and get rid of them if they bother you. And there's really no rhyme or reason to the way that I'm applying this paint. I just want to get some on. So if you really love this video, you can give me a thumbs up or a heart. If you have friends that you think would enjoy it, then please invite them. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Hi Donna, how are you? How's that buffet coming along? I should tell you that before I started this, I cleaned it really well with White Lightning. And I had a lady in my store today, I just adore my customers, who was telling me that she had bought a house and there was a refrigerator in it, and she thought that the refrigerator was the Harvest Gold. And she cleaned it with White Lightning and it was cream. So that was just all nicotine stain, and the White Lightning got rid of it great. So the color I'm using now is just a little bit of coffee bean. And I'm just going to add 2. And like I said, I'm going for sort of a layered, chippy, relic type look. And I really want to bring out some of the details. And then we're going to do something really cool with the Dixie dirt. I have a question for you. So, as you can tell, I'm a little bit Southern. But my question is, sweet or unsweet? Do you like your tea sweet or unsweet? I like to tell people I'm sweet enough. I don't need it in my tea. So now I'm going to switch. I've got a little bit of holy guacamole in one of the FIFO bottles. And because I want to add some of the moss look, and it's going to make noise. I'm just going to squirt a little bit out on my cardboard. I'm going to re-wet my brush. Got a lot on my brush that time. And we're just going in. And I think we may use some gilding wax on this also. And a lot of people wonder why I would want to use this as a bookend. I was showing it to a friend of mine today, and she made the comment that it would have to be a really large book. And I told her that we had an old dictionary that, I kid you not, is that thick, that my husband has carried around since college. So I've got a really large book that I can use these bookends on. I want a little bit more. And notice I'm not changing brushes because I do want the colors to blend. So I'm just dabbing it off and going to my next color. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see how this is working. And see, when I add a little bit, it changes it some. So we can achieve that old, rusty, mossy look. And the next color that I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use some Spanish moss. You drink it unsweet too? Oh. Yeah. To me, sweet tea is just a little bit too much. And I know it's very un-Southern to drink unsweet tea. But if you know me, you also know that you never see me without my, and I have it here, without my tea glass. Okay. I don't want to keep you on here all night, so I'm just going to work on this side. Can everybody see okay? Oh, you don't use any refined sugar, Betty? Well, I'm gluten-free 99% of the time. Every now and then, this Southern girl has to have a biscuit. Oh, there's one for sweet. Does anybody like half tea, half lemonade. That's not bad. I think I'm going to add some Stormy Seas to this, just a little bit, and then we're going to get to work with our wax and our Dixie dirt. And I also want you to notice how little of this paint that it takes. The coverage with the Dixie Belle mineral paint is unbelievable. That was one of the first things that I noticed that sold me on it. And then I discovered all the different things you can use it on. Trust me, I have painted anything that will stand still, and I've threatened to paint a dog or two. I have a little dog that gets a mohawk, and I've threatened to paint his mohawk. What's the strangest thing you've ever painted? Arnold Palmer, that's what they're called. Yes, they're great in the summertime. Okay, this is a really thin coat paint, so it shouldn't take it very long to dry. So I'm just going to clean me off a little space. And the way that I'm going to apply the Dixie dirt is I want to put a little bit of clear wax, just a little bit, on here. And then we're going to have a lot of fun because I have discovered a really neat way to apply it. Oh, thanks for inviting your friends. We really appreciate that. All of the retailers who do lives and the brand ambassador who do lives, we do this in our spare time. Not that anybody has very much spare time. So we appreciate it when we get good feedback and when you like it enough to share. So I think this is going to be dry enough. On this cast resin, it doesn't take it very long at all to dry. And we're going to add a little bit of clear wax just so we can get our dirt to stick. And the way that I like to do my wax, I'm using a chip brush so I can just get it in the creases and crevices where I want it. So I get a little bit on my brush, and then I'm going to tap it off on my lid. And I will work mainly from my lid. And this way, you're not over waxing. As a matter of fact, I'm under waxing a little bit right now. You're not over waxing, and so you don't have that problem if you go back to buff of having to work really hard for something that should have been really easy. And mainly what I want is to get the wax down in these crevices so that our detail can show up better. Now I've already patinaed the carved part. I use the iron patina paint and the green spray. But what I have discovered in working with the Dixie dirt, and if you've never worked with it, you should, it's amazing, is if you put it in one of these little bottles, then you have a whole lot more control. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to shake it down to the end just a little bit, and then I'm going to go in, let's see, over here where you can see, and I'm just squirting it. And this is going to give us a really nice aged look without creating a huge mess. The first time I worked with dirt, I created a huge mess. And then we just smooth it out with a brush. And again, I'm just using the same chip brush that I used to wax with. And I'm going to add a little bit more wax. And then I'm going to shake this down again. And I'm just squirting. I'll squirt a little bit more so you can see it, and I'll hold it up. So this is a super fine powder. So you can see right there where I squirted it. Now I'm just going to soften that and spread it some. And that gives us that really aged, grungy look. I could probably achieve a similar effect with the grunge gray wax, but it's not quite the same. This really looks aged. And when you're using this, you really want to think about all of the places where dust and dirt would stick. And that's why I'm going more towards the crevices. And then just softening it out. Now I will let this dry overnight, and I will probably gator hide it in the morning. I just want my wax to set, but I want you to get a close-up of this corner. This is looking really nice. So see how the dirt just makes it look aged, and it almost gives it a texture, but when you feel of it, it's not really a texture. So if that's one of the toys that you haven't played with yet, I highly suggest it. If you have asked a question and I have missed it, it's hard to work on this and read the questions at the same time, but I promise that I will go back and answer any questions. I will post a picture of the finished product on my page, which is Urban Rebel Designs. It will probably be either tomorrow or Friday before I get it finished, because I have classes tomorrow. And if you're interested, just hop over there and you can see a picture of it when it's finished, and you may even get to see a picture of the giant dictionary that we've carried around for 28 years. I appreciate everybody spending some time with me tonight. I always love doing this. I could talk about paint forever. Thank you, and we will see you next week. Have a good evening.